Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. So, in lesson 25, we looked at the Huroof al-Jazimah. So what exactly are they? They are a particular set of harf, and remember we said harf in English is translated as a particle, and a particle is a small word that has an impact on a word coming after it. So they are a particular set of harf that cause a present tense verb. They're going to act on the present tense verb, not the past tense verb, to take a sukoon on the end. Right? This is another state that a word can go into, and it is exclusive to verbs. So remember before we covered the three states of words, we had marfu', which is when a noun goes into a state of rafa'. We had majroor, which is when a noun goes into a state of jar. Then we had mansoob, when a noun or verb, verbs can also go into mansoob, and we'll see that in the next lesson with Sheikh, can go into a state of nasb. Right? And then there's a fourth one, which is known as majzoom, where the verb goes into a state of jazm, right? So where it takes that sukoon on the end. And the example we have here is lam katab. So we have a huroof al-jazimah, which is a special type of harf, that changes it into a state of majzoom, meaning that it will take a sukoon on the end, and that is a mistake there. Let me correct that. Yeah, yaktub. Before it was in the present tense version. Sorry, the past tense version. It can only apply to present tense, right? So it'd be lam yaktub. Okay. So when a present tense verb goes into a state of majzoom, it will look different across the 14 forms, right? That sukoon is going to cause it to look different as we conjugate it. For the present tense verb, there are two types of noons on the end of the words, right? So there's noon al-i'rab, which is a removable noon, and then there's noon al-niswa, which is the noon of plural women, and that cannot be removed. So let's see what that really means. So if you take a look at the following chart, you'll notice it looks a little bit different. So lam yadrib takes a sukoon because of the lam, and then lam yadriba. So remember it used to be yadribani, now that noon is dropped. That's a noon al-i'rab, right? It's a removable noon. So lam yadribu, it used to be lam yadribuna, gets dropped. Lam tadrib, lam tadribani, gets dropped, so it becomes lam tadriba, lam yadribna. So here the noon remains. So for the two cases where we have three or more women and it's plural, the noon will remain. That's the noon niswa, and it will not be removed. In all the other cases it's removed. So lam tadrib, lam tadriba, lam tadribu, lam tadribi. See, in this case the noon used to be there, dropped. Lam tadriba, lam tadribna remains. Lam adrib, lam nadrib. So the following are the huroof al-jazimah, and they all act pretty much the same when you're conjugating, right? It's going to be sukoon on this, noon gets dropped, noon remains if it's three or more women. So lam is negation of the past, lamma is negation till now, li is a command, and la is prohibition. And there's another one that Sheikh mentioned, it's known as in, but he excluded it from the list because it only applies to both the present and past, tense, while these ones above apply to solely the present tense. So I assume we'll study that on another occasion. So let's look at how the four are applied. So lam yan, let me correct that. So lam yansur, right? This would mean he did not help. It has the same meaning as a ma when we want to ma before a past tense verb. So remember we use ma in the past tense to negate the past. So ma nasara, he did not help. So what's actually happening here is when you put lam in front of it, it's adding negation and taking the present tense verb and putting it into the past, right? So it becomes the exact same as ma nasara. So it would be he did not help. Then we have lamma yansur, which is he did not help until now. It is negation of the past up until this current point in time. So you're pretty much just negating and then throwing on until now. It's the same as lam, except it goes up until right now. The next is li yansur, which is he must help. He must help. This is a command, right? You're commanding somebody to help. So this command has no second person, and the default meaning is must, but other things can be added to mean should. I spoke to Sheikh later about this, and he said it can also be contextual, so I'm sure he'll clarify this at a later date. La yansur, he must not help, right? It's the same as this command, except it's a negation now. It can be applied to third, second, and first person, unlike this one, which is only applied to second person. And one thing Sheikh wanted us to keep in mind is that negation is the absence of an action, while prohibition is stopping that action. So a lot of people get confused between the two. Now, it's just a clarification. So let's take a look at li and how it conjugates. Keep in mind it has no second person, so the chart will look like this. Li yansur, he must help. Li yansur, li yansura. Sorry, it'd be li yansura. Remember the noon gets dropped because it's Huroof Jazimah. They must help. Li yansuru, they three or more must help. Li tansur, she must help. Li tansura, they must help. Let me fix that. For some reason there's a ba there. Li yansurna, they must help, and because we're dealing with three or more women, that noon is going to stay. And then no second person, right? You can't use this to command somebody in front of you. There'll be a different one that we'll learn for that, inshallah. Li ansur, which means I must help, and then li nansur, we must help. Right? And yeah, those are the Huroof al-Jazimah. Assalamu alaikum.